Hello and welcome to our podcast, The Wedding Club, by Be Our Guest.
Yay! Welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm Chloe. And this is Clare with the blonde hair.
Hi, everyone.
Clare with the brown hair.
Hi. I've actually got red hair, but I'm dyeing it back brown next week.
Yeah. Clare with the copper hair.
Copper Clare.
Copper Clare. And we briefly mentioned Clare with the blonde hair in our last podcast.
We did.
Episode. So, Clare, if you'd like to give yourself a little intro.
Hi, everyone. So I've been with Be Our Guest for about the last 6 years now. A lot of you will already remember me if you've ever been into the showroom, because it's probably going to be me you met with. And it's me that will go through what you're looking for and what your quote will be. And we talk about flowers and colours and anything wedding related. Perfect. Chloe does some showroom visits. So
Yeah, you're either seeing me or Clare.
yeah,
9 times out of 10.
me if somebody rings in sick. As a push.
Last resort. So,
I've done my time.
yeah. So, Clare.
Today, as promised, we're going to be talking to you about, so you've said yes, what's next?
What is next?
So there's 3 categories you can choose from.
Cool.
It's either venue, guest list, or budget. So let's go through each of those first of all.
Mm-hmm.
What can't you go for if you haven't got this in place? So would it be the guest list? Do you know how many guests you want to invite? And if you do, who are they? Are you going to invite all your family, including your aunts, uncles, cousins that you haven't seen for a while or live overseas?
Your great Auntie Betty.
Yes, or Blodwyn up the road.
Your mum's best friend who she hasn't seen since 2002.
Childhood. It really is a bit of a conundrum. Why? Because when you have your wedding, do you want people you haven't seen for a long time, which may be family, which may be friends, coming to your wedding? For me, it'd be a big fat no.
Yeah.
Because I did that. I fell into the trap of inviting people to my wedding that I hadn't seen in a long time, friends and family, and it was weird because it felt like strangers at my wedding.
Yeah.
And the most crucial part of your wedding is for a bride is when you walk down the aisle and then all these faces turn around and you feel a bit weird because half of them are strangers. So do you invite them for political reasons, i.e. don't want to offend your auntie because it's your mother's sister? So your mother might be offended. You've got to have these tough conversations with your family.
It's a tricky one.
Especially your mum and dad and the groom's mum and dad.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't want to be personally, I wouldn't want people at my wedding because I did it and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the conversations we have are, where do I draw the line? Do I have people that feel like a sister, but it isn't my sister? And where do I seat them? And it's just a massive minefield.
It really is. And it really is. And I think a lot of, like, we've had couples come in to us and say it is such a tough thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Chloe, what would you do? Would you invite your auntie because you didn't want to offend them?
I hope she's
So-
not listening.
My theoretical auntie. I think ultimately what it comes down to is feeling comfortable on the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As the bride and groom, you want to make sure there's people there who you love, obviously,
Yeah.
and feel comfortable around. And I think if you don't feel comfortable around your estranged auntie that you haven't seen since you were a baby,
Yeah.
don't invite her.
I agree.
Because as much as it might upset them initially when they hear that you're getting married and then they don't get the invite, it's like,
Well, what can they expect really if they haven't reached out to you in that time scale as well? Then why do we feel obligated to invite them? That's what I think. I
Yeah.
just think it's just weird.
or even if they have reached out to you but you still don't feel comfortable with them being there, I think
Just invite them to the night do. So
at the
you
end of
can
the day as well, you're paying
Yeah.
for their meal, you're paying for their day.
And let's face it, this
time.
It's not cheap.
Not cheap. We're in a cost of living crisis, and every year on year, venues are putting their charges up.
Absolutely. And I think that's why it's good to have a list for your evening guests, completely separate.
Yeah.
And then if you don't reach the minimum numbers, or you're having people drop out, then you can sort of upgrade those people who you were going to invite to the evening to the daytime.
That's the other annoying thing, isn't it? When people drop out last minute.
Oh God, I do feel sorry for some people. We're
So
talking
bad.
3-4 days before a wedding, and
you
the table plan's done, and everybody's meals are pre-ordered, and then, you know,
All
again,
of a sudden.
it's very stressful, isn't it? Because it costs a lot of money to feed these people on the day, which is essentially what you're doing.
Because it's not only the sit-down meal you're feeding them for, it's arrival drinks. It's the champagne toast.
The buffet in the evening, if you're having one. Like,
and the hors d'oeuvres and things that are passed around. It's a lot
the
of
canapes.
money. Canapes. It's so much money that it's not just the cost of the meal, it's everything else as well.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're not sure if your Auntie Blodwyn should come, then it's a no.
Yeah. I think I saw this somewhere. I can't remember. It was probably TikTok, to be honest with you, because everything I see is on TikTok.
I love TikTok.
Where they said, like, if they're not in your contacts on your phone, don't
that's a
invite
good
them.
one. I like that one.
And I agree with that. I think if they're not going to reach out to you, you're not going to reach out to them by text, because let's be honest, everyone has a phone that can text nowadays. Then don't invite them.
Yeah, I agree.
And certainly if people are RSVPing late,
That don't know me.
I mean,
I've got to set a cut off.
Yeah, that's a real stress.
Yeah.
Because venues are asking for your final numbers 8 weeks before. And if you've got great Auntie Blodwyn who hasn't RSVP'd and you're having to chase her, then in my opinion, I wouldn't do any chasing around. I would look to your backup list or knock her off altogether.
But what if she turns up on the day and there's no meal for her?
Oh my God, can you imagine?
I'd have to speak to her. I'd have to speak to her and say, look,
Or get your maid of honour or someone else.
or
to speak to them,
whoever's
'cause
dad, if it's your dad's sister or your mum's brother, whoever, get your mum chasing them.
Yeah.
it's not your responsibility. Once they're there,
You don't need
it's
that
on them.
stress.
It's not on
You've
you.
got enough stress to be dealing with without worrying
Yeah.
to chase people up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
I think I'd do my cut-off date around 12 weeks. I'd do a lot. It's too much money at stake. And in my opinion, don't invite them.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it. Invite them to the evening where it's cheaper and they can have a dance.
Yeah.
And if they're offended, well, sorry, you haven't been in touch with me for 20 years of my life. Why should I invite you?
The other thing as well is, and this is a thing now, is so some parents do pay for their son's daughter's wedding.
Yeah.
And there's been a few occasions where mum and dad have invited an entire table
Yes.
of guests that were
An
their
allowance.
friends.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
I
And
don't know how I'd feel about that.
Okay, I personally, how I think about that is if your mum or dad said, right, we're paying for it, but we want a table of our own friends, fine. I think fine. Okay. Generally, if they're your dad's and mum's besties, then you probably know
You
them
probably
really
know
well
them.
anyway.
I agree. Yeah, I
probably
agree.
grown up around the
Yeah.
But if it's for show, which sometimes it is,
And they got no
mum and
friends,
dad have
really.
paid for the seats, and therefore mum wants to invite 8 of her best friends and husbands. I just don't know if, as a bride, I would want to see again the faces that I don't even know.
Chances are you'd know them. And to be honest, I personally, if my mum and dad were paying for it all, I'd say, yeah, go ahead.
I probably would, because I wouldn't want to upset them.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other
Yeah.
thing. Do you want to upset your mum and dad? Is it worth falling out with them over some guests?
That's true.
Yeah.
It depends. Is it? I feel like that's really circumstantial. 'Cause
Yeah.
it could be they're paying for it because they want it to almost be their party, and then they start taking control a bit.
Well, that's another
then
thing,
that
isn't
could
it?
be a
It's when
problem.
We've all met those.
is when mum comes along, and you can quite clearly see mum's
Who's in
got
charge?
a certain idea of what she likes, and the daughter's going along with it
Yeah.
because she knows they're paying. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a difficult one.
Generally speaking, these days, parents kind of, and most people I know of, their parents pay. Mine didn't, because they couldn't afford to. back in the day. And Martin's dad couldn't either, so we paid for it all. But our total cost of our wedding was probably about $5,000.
Yeah, in comparison to what it would be these days.
Yeah.
My dad paid. He loved it. He absolutely loved that he did have a say.
Yeah.
And he came to help us look for the venue. And
I like that.
That's so less.
he has an opinion on things.
Yeah.
And I love that. And when I look back now, I just think, oh my
happy
God,
memories.
I'm so glad that he was there for all of that. So I can understand why,
I get both sides.
Yeah.
The thing wouldn't bother me, but the thing that really does bother me is all these aunties and uncles or cousins you haven't seen for a long time. You don't feel obliged to invite them.
Yeah.
No, because take it from me, you'll regret it.
And you don't want to be looking back as well at photos of your wedding day, thinking, who the heck is there?
Yeah.
I don't even remember inviting them, or like that's the same as well with plus ones.
Yes.
That's another one that's quite tricky.
I was just going to go on to plus ones because next thing you need to do is sit down with your significant other half and talk about their friends. What friends do you want to invite? Is it work friends? Is it, say, your husband to be is playing rugby and he wants to invite all the rugby boys? There's a lot of people can have lots of groups of people, university people, rugby people, football. You've got to draw a line somewhere because you can't then invite their plus ones.
Yeah.
Because chances are the other half of your significant other would not know them.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Yeah.
So do you just invite a table full of the groom's friends, table full of this is a minefield, and I can understand why people get stressed. So the best thing you can do is agree on numbers of friends, work out who your best friends are, who are the ones you're going to have as your bridesmaids and the groomsmen, and then the ones maybe work friends and some others.
Yeah. And again,
I
I
haven't
think
got endless money.
no, that's a good thing about the evening reception is, say, if you want to invite the rugby boys or whatever, like you said, and they're plus ones, they can always come to the evening.
Yeah. Unless they're your besties, there's but how many best friends can one person have? You're not going to have that many.
And then with their plus ones as well, I think, again, a good rule of thumb is probably like, if you know them, if you've spoken to them, if you get along with them.
Yeah, I agree.
Because as well, if they're your friends, I think they'd understand. Like, say if there's someone who is in a really short-term relationship by the time that you're handing out invites.
Yeah.
And you'd say, oh, I don't feel comfortable, or I don't want to invite this person.
Definitely.
I don't want to invite your plus one.
Yeah.
I also think
I think that's fine.
when it's a plus one and they don't know the bride or the groom, they only know one of them, that's all good for you as well.
Yeah.
Because my husband owns a business and he's really close, and I am, with all the people he employs, and we were invited to one of those weddings and I didn't know the bride. And although I'm not a shy person, I went up and introduced myself and had a little chat with her. It was still just a bit awkward.
Yeah, that's a bit awkward.
Yeah, it's just a bit strange. So, that's a lot of food for thought. So next thing on, you've got
I hope that's helpful.
yeah. Next thing is you've got to talk about is, so you've got your numbers, so you're going to start looking for a venue.
Yeah. Exciting.
What kind of wedding do you want? So do you want a rustic wedding? So are you more suited to look at barns?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe asking a farmer for some land and putting a big marquee up?
I was going to say marquees, ready, like put up, ready made.
I have to say, somebody I was following wrote on their Instagram the other day, they thought that having a marquee constructed for them for their wedding would be a cheaper option, and it turned out it was $5,000.
Yeah. No.
Just to have it put up in a field.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a lot of money.
Just for that. That's without the food. That's without everything else. Tables and everything.
Everything. That's
The bones.
That's a lot.
Literally the bones.
Yeah.
That takes a lot of organising as well, doesn't it?
Definitely.
So then you also got the venues that are what we call higher end. So they're the ones that are palatial, where you suit a grandeur wedding, in.
It's the vineyards, the castles.
And it's those places that already have a lot of things included. So you get in a package. So it's including your welcome drinks.
Yeah.
And it's including, you know, to a certain extent, some of your decorations. Some of them will already have some flowers on the fireplace, for example.
Yeah.
Dance
So
floors.
people see that as a huge plus these days, you know?
I think it's nice to have a package as well.
Yeah.
Just,
You know your costs aren't running away with you unexpectedly.
And it takes a lot of the basics off you.
Yeah.
It's something that then you don't even have to think about.
Yeah.
Because it's already included. And then you just go to someone else and go, well, I've already got this, this and this. What else do I need?
The other thing with that is that generally when you hire a venue, when they do all the food, etc., there's always a coordinator on the day who's usually the manager or head supervisor or something like that, who will look after your day and ensure the smooth running of your day.
Yeah.
So that person will go around and check the tables just before you enter, light the candles, make sure she greets you or they greet you as you're going about to walk down the aisle.
Those people that make your day run like clockwork.
Yeah.
I say
These
this
people
over
are
and over
blooming
again.
amazing.
And they do
They
so
make it
many.
happen. Yeah, absolutely.
They're almost like an on-the-day wedding planner.
Yeah.
Your coordinator.
Yeah.
They'll do all of the things that you'd need them to do. They do all of the things that, say, if your maid of honour wasn't there or your person who's going to help you kind of thing.
Or a supplier didn't turn up. They're the ones who'd be ringing that company and saying, where the hell are you?
They sort things out.
Yeah. So those things are the things you don't have to worry about. So that's an added benefit of working with a venue that does all that. Whereas if you've got a rustic wedding and it's just you hiring the barn and then you have to find the caterers, etc., then a wedding planner comes in handy.
Yeah.
It's all the basics, isn't it? It's about making sure that, you know, even down to cutlery and cups and plates and
Things you wouldn't even think about.
Yeah.
Or the tables are messed up with the wrong people on the wrong tables. So the person who may have a dietary requirement of vegetarian suddenly has a meat dinner.
Your coordinator will become a good assistant to you.
Yeah.
And you will meet with them and you will go for menu tasting and they will talk to you about who's coming on the day.
Yeah.
And they will talk about timing so that, you know, essentially if you are coming to somebody for decoration like us, we coordinate with the coordinator rather than involving them too much.
We have people who are usually in the sales team in the venues who we'll speak to, who is your point of contact in the venues.
Yeah.
And then they will then give all that information to your on the day coordinator. So it's like a nice handover period.
Yeah, and if you're collecting bits yourself, like favours, they will always go to the coordinator on the day.
Yeah.
You know,
put them out.
It's one less thing for you to have to worry about. You want as little stress as possible on that day. In the morning, all you want to do is think about yourself, getting ready. And, you know, nerves take over a little bit, don't they? So you're not going to remember all of this. So your coordinator will be your best friend on the day.
Definitely.
Actually, when you're talking about venues, do you want a venue where you can get ready in?
Yeah.
I think that's a lot of venues now are offering bridal suites where you can get ready on the day.
Yeah.
And they're quite sought after now, I believe.
Yeah.
A venue who hasn't got them needs to rethink and get one.
Yeah, and I've literally just come from one this morning. So they've got a brand new one.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and
Who is this venue?
so I've just visited the New House Country Hotel.
Whoop, whoop.
They are in the middle of installing their brand new, stunning, may I add, marquee.
Nice.
It's having a massive upgrade, so it just looks amazing.
And so they got a bridal suite.
They got a bridal suite, that was the old bridal suite which has been converted, ripped out, and it's now a get ready.
Wow.
A get ready
See,
room.
that's good. Great. If you're getting a marquee wedding, you're going to have to get ready off site and then come in a car.
You will
got
save
to
yourself money.
sort
All
out
that
transport.
expense.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all these little things that soon add up.
Yeah. But then if you don't need them in lots of situations now like that, even better.
I think
Just something that you don't even have to think about.
Yeah.
So then we talk budget. Eek. You've got to have that difficult conversation with your in-laws or your parents. Are they going to be able to afford to put any money towards it?
Yeah.
It is a difficult one. Generally speaking, the bride will already know if her father or parents or mum can or cannot afford to. Yeah, because they'll probably had that conversation anyway. But you may need to have it.
Yeah.
It is a tough one. And then if, they can't afford to pay, you got to set yourself a budget.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you really do.
Budgeting is so important.
It is. And
'Cause-
lots of people crack the budget. And I know of brides who will dread another delivery coming to the door because the husband-to-be or the person-to-be is waiting for this another parcel to arrive. And then they say, what's this? Why do we need this?
Yeah.
My husband does that when I get new stuff for the house
Yeah.
or new stuff for the office
Hide it.
or new hire items.
Yeah.
Why do you need more trees?
But they're not the same as the other trees.
And charger plates and napkins.
They're not
Oh
the
my
same.
God. Sorry, we're running off on a different road there. So these are all the things that you really need to be thinking about.
Yeah. And they definitely are a tricky topic.
Oh my gosh.
They don't have to be.
No.
Because everyone has a budget.
Yeah.
Every single person, whether
Yeah.
it's like 50 grand
Or 5.
or 5.
Yeah.
It's just you need to have that conversation to be able to sort it out
Yeah.
as soon as you start planning.
Yeah.
Because the sooner you have it as well, the better.
Yeah.
Because then
The
you can
smoother
start,
it goes.
Yeah, you can start emailing.
Yeah.
You can start.
And let me
Booking
tell
for.
you now, as soon as you know that you've got a venue booked, say even if it's for 2000 and where are we now? 2024 and it's in 2027. Get in there and speak to the people that you've been following on Instagram, TikTok, on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't even have a policy where they have is your calendar open for that certain year.
Yeah. A lot of
Ours
people
is
don't
always
their
open.
calendar.
We had a 2028 inquiry this week.
OMG.
Yeah. And I was happy to say, you're going to be my first inquiry for 2028. And she was more concerned with securing the right supplier.
Yes.
So in our case, us and her photographer and her cake maker, because if she'd left it too much longer, everyone will be looking
Yeah.
forward at those dates.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily about deciding what everything's going to look like or what colours you're going to want. It's just about getting the right
Secured.
suppliers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who you know.
In
You
Because
advance.
we all know those trends change anyway.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know, at the moment we're seeing a lot of black things going out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Pinks, oranges, reds,
Yeah.
bows.
That
There
will
may be something
change.
coming that we just don't even know about yet.
Definitely.
And that's so exciting.
I love
because if you-
predicting those changes.
Yeah, because if you are going to
Love a
book
trend.
3 years in advance, then absolutely, you know, book the right people. And if you're confident with who you've booked, all those things will come over time.
And all they'll ask for is to save the date deposit.
normally.
Normally.
A good, yeah.
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 A good business will normally just.
Yeah. Because they can't even tell you their prices for that year
Yeah.
so far in advance anyway. Because things do change.
Yeah.
Especially people like photographers, etc.
Yeah.
So that is a minefield that you're going to have to cross.
And it'll be okay. If you go through it like that, so your guest list, your venue, and then your budget. Maybe even budget first.
Yeah.
Budget.
Oh,
guest
see,
list.
where do you go? Which one is first? This is the big conundrum we were talking about this in prep for this podcast.
I think I started thinking guest list,
Yeah.
but I think budget.
See, now I would panic and think, oh my God, I know where I want to get married. I'm going to book them first. But then you go there and then you realise, oh my God, is out of my price range?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So once you have the budget,
So I'll set my year for 2029 and save so much money.
yeah.
It's really hard.
It's tough.
It is.
But yeah, hope this has helped a little bit. I think we've touched on good subject.
Yeah.
Big things.
Yeah. And then the other things you need to think about, which we can talk in again about, is what season you want. Are you just a summer bride? Do you want a winter wedding?
When are you getting married?
It's a tough one because aren't we now seeing so many more weddings prior to sort of spring?
Yeah.
Because actually, haven't we had some lovely Aprils in the last few years?
Yeah.
And then everybody,
February.
yeah,
We had
February, some
4
lovely summer sun, some
big
winter sun.
weddings.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep, we really did. And September is always
I love it, actually. I love now
September.
that...
It's crazy because the school kids have gone back to school. Sun comes out and it's rained in July and August.
Yeah, true.
So many people see it like that.
It's classic.
Crazy.
Especially in Wales.
Yeah.
Welsh weather.
Autumnal weddings are beautiful.
Yeah.
See, we're getting just going off track.
Who doesn't even love a Christmas wedding? I got married just before Christmas.
You did?
I did, and I loved it. And
I loved it. And it snowed.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that was nice. That was a nice little touch. Thank you.
Snowed, yeah.
Clouds above.
Yeah, yeah. You're not going to be able to promise that on the day, unfortunately, but it was lovely. Everyone said I'd be cold, and I wasn't. The adrenaline was going, and I did not feel cold at all.
Have you got any funny stories from your wedding?
I remember finding out the day after that our vintage Rolls Royce that my dad had booked for us to go to the church had turned up on a low loader lorry because it couldn't get out to where we were, and they didn't trust the old style of car to go through the lanes. So I didn't realise that until the day after. But yeah, if I had seen that on the morning, my car arriving on the back of a big lorry, I probably would have panicked a lot more. But
so where did you leave from? Did you leave from your house?
no, we got ready at the venue as well. And then the church was just a very short drive then.
Nice.
And then back to the venue.
I left from my house and we had a limo take us. And when
limo, that's so 90s.
I know. So classy. A limo. I felt like a right dick in it, to be fair.
Prom queen.
I wasn't really like loving the limos, but yeah. But when we come to the pavement of the house at the bottom of we lived on a bit of a hill, people started chucking money at us.
Money?
Yeah. Not at my head. I wasn't knocked out.
The limo driver was probably like, can you not?
It's a tradition, and I have never heard of it since, that where you chuck money at the bride's feet to wish them good wealth.
I've heard of that.
In their wedding.
Definitely.
In, their married years.
Yeah.
I didn't pick it up, though. I didn't know whether I was supposed to.
You should have.
And I'd
have been there like...
The big thing for me, though, I did think about picking it up, but at the time I was biting my nails.
Didn't want any photo.
And...
Didn't have the buy-up.
I couldn't get them up.
No.
So, when you can't pick them up because there's nothing to anchor it, to pick it up, scoop it up, I couldn't do it anyway.
Yeah.
Just
I
kind of
thought, I'm not that desperate for 2 peas.
Yeah, fair.
2 peas or not 2 peas? No, I'm not 2 peas.
Pound coins, different story.
Well, no, it would be notes then. We didn't have pound coins. Oh my God, I'm ancient.
Yeah. You're from the dark age.
In the old days when we had a limo. Talking about old days, I'm loving this thing of old-fashioned, like oldie-worldy things come back, like from the 30s and 40s where they're doing champagne towers again.
I know.
That's so cute.
With coupe glasses.
Yeah.
Very 20s.
If you don't know what a coupe glass is, it's like a little saucer, champagne glass.
Yeah. A baby sham glass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Who remembers Baby Sham? No, probably none of you.
Baby
I know
sham.
Baby Sham.
Yeah.
The little deer
Yeah.
on the front. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
You probably remember them because your nan used to have them in her...
No, you used to have them, and
No, I pinched them from Nanny's house.
you used to get like the gift set, and it'd be a little bottle of Baby Sham.
Oh, yeah.
And the coupe.
Yeah.
And I used to drink it when I was like 13.
And snowballs.
We still have a snowball at Christmas now.
I made snowballs this year and they were rubbish.
It's not Christmas without a snowball.
Right, so we've really gone off track there, guys.
Okay.
Moving on.
Back to the topic that we just spoke about. So, budget, guest list, and venue.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think, what you'd go for
First and then
or let us know what you did go for first.
Yeah. It's interesting. So next time round, we are going to talk about trends for this year. What are we going to be seeing in celebrities' weddings, in your weddings, what colours, etc., etc. So that's going to be a hot topic for our next podcast.
Yeah. Can't wait.
So, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much for
Show your
listening
love
in.
by following us on Instagram.
Yay.
The Wedding Club.
My first podcast.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Thank you, Claire.
Podcast virgin. Chloe and Lewis are cringing.
But yeah, let us know what you think. If you have any ideas of what we should talk about next, let us
Anything
know.
you need any help with, we're here.
Any dilemmas.
We're going to be like agony ants. I love it.
Lush, you know.
Oh, love it.
Lush.
Thanks for joining us and speak to you soon.